since I haven't uploaded anything, I kind of wanted to use this quote unquote negative experience, right? And turn it into something positive. You know, I am someone who makes videos. So I thought maybe I could share this, just throw it out there, see what happens. This is a real story. I swear I'm not making this up. So to give context, and for anyone who might be curious about my life outside of just playing horror games, I'm actually a cashier. And to be more specific, a retail cashier. Now, I am sure that a lot of you former retail cashiers just got like PTSD flashbacks. Your mind's all over the place. I get it. Don't worry. I know. It started off as, you know, your typical day as a cashier. I don't know how to describe it because it's just so normal. Like, it really is robotic because it's very, very repetitive. You generally feel like that Tesla bot, you know, that just moves boxes like that shit. I was scanning this person, right? It was a lady, and now I don't mean to be disrespectful, right? But since she was bitchy to me, she was an old lady that you'd see in politics, that type of old. Again, it was just a normal person. It started off normally, you know, hey, did you find everything okay? Yes, I did. And she didn't buy a whole lot. I do remember it being quick. So towards the end, she paid with cash. So after I tendered the cash, I then obviously gave her change, you know, just normal, nothing wrong with it. I gave her the bills, and her change, like the cents change, was 77 cents. However, I gave her 75 cents. Why? It's because here in the US, there's no such thing as pennies anymore. They just stopped fabrications from it. Like, anytime you pay with cash, don't expect to be given pennies. That's all I'm saying. Just to get context to that right there, why I gave 75 cents, right? And that's the thing. I'm sure anyone with a functional brain wouldn't think much of that, right? So she proceeds to say, hey, what's in my change? 77 cents. So then I responded with, yes, it was. It was 77 cents. However, I am giving you 75 cents because we don't have pennies. I'm sorry, I just can't give you pennies. And that's the thing. She didn't like that. She just didn't understand the fact that I couldn't give her 2 cents. She just like, what? So you can't give me my change? And then I just tell her, ma'am, I can't give you pennies because there's a whole law passed about pennies. We just don't get those anymore. And she proceeds to get annoyed by that. Oh, how's it possible you can't give me my change? Like, you can't give people change now. I generally think she thought that I told her that it was illegal for me to give her 2 more pennies. That's what I'm thinking, because the fact that she makes such a fuss about it makes me think that that's what happened. So then I just tell her that, like, oh, you know, we just can't give you any pennies. There's a whole law. You can thank our brilliant president for that. And yes, that was sarcasm, by the way. And she proceeded to say, no, thank you for not giving me my change. And so now I know who she voted for. So then eventually I just grew tired of it. She just kept on going. She just kept saying things. So eventually I just told her, ma'am, have a good day. Because that is the thing. Our transaction was done. Like, this purchase was already completed long ago. I just tell her, ma'am, have a good day. And she keeps on going. So I just tell her, ma'am, have a good day. And she finally left, right? However, she temporarily left, not really left the building. However, I do have to note that the people behind her were hearing this stupid argument. So the next person I was attending, right? They straight up made like a crying emotion, like, you know, like when you grab your hand, put it close to your eyes and start like moving it up and down, right? They were just saying like, oh, you couldn't give her 2 cents. It's like, there is people making fun of her. Again, like, politician old, like, this is a grown, I mean beyond grown lady arguing over 2 cents. I just knew this person was gonna leave. It's just so normal for people like this to, when they don't get what they want, oh, they make a full tantrum about it. Like, it's like when you tell a kid no to buying them candy. It's like that type of tantrum. Now, I'm not gonna name the exact place that I work at. I'm not gonna dox myself. There is a person standing in front of there who greets people. There's like, hey, welcome in, or when someone's leaving, like, hey, have a good day. Or when someone has a question, they're pretty much the first person you can go up to. Like, as soon as you go in, right, you're just like, hey, where's the bathroom, right? You go up to them, it's like, hey, where's the bathroom? Okay, so just head all the way that way. So she heads to this person in the front. And that's the thing, I see this from far away. I just know that she's making up things and she's very much dramatizing the story more than it really was. It didn't take long for these people to ask, you guessed it, you know who, the manager, Ta-da, confetti. And I heard it for the radio. The beautiful timing that this was is that we had a truck of merchandise coming in, so the manager was helping out with that. And so the manager through the phone says, hey, you know, why do they need me? What's going on? So I just grabbed my radio and I proceeded to say, hey, I know what's going on. Her change was 77 cents. However, I gave her 75 cents because I couldn't give her 2 pennies. So she's now mad at the fact that I couldn't give her 2 pennies. I'm not making this up. You want to know what my manager responded with? Yeah, that's why you round up. Like, that is so fucking stupid. Like, you really are going to side over someone who's arguing over 2 cents. 2 fucking cents. Like, besides tossing them in a well, there's nothing you can buy with 2 pennies. Like, she is making such a fuss about 2 fucking pennies. But she said it in the way that, like, hey, you're doing your job wrong type of way. So I just ignored that. I heard it, but I ignored it because there's no way I'm going to be arguing now with my manager. Like, this argument is stupid as it is. So she still waits at the front, right? Because she has literally nothing better to do with her fucking life. So eventually someone else shows up with register keys because we actually cannot open the register. If not, I would have done it because I know for a fact some of you people would have just been like, oh, well, you could just, why not just open the register? We just can't do that. Someone has to have a key, and people who have that key are only supervisors and higher. So essentially just supervisors and managers have that key. If not, I would have maybe done it, but that's the thing. She was bitchy about it. So no, if you're kind to me, you may get your way, but if you're bitchy about it, like, obviously not. I can't help you if you don't help yourself. So eventually someone comes in with the key, like I said, and they proceed to call the lady back. They wave at her to come over here. So then she, you know, comes back to the register and proceeds to say, why can I not talk to a manager? I just don't understand. And the person who helped me out, oh, there's such a saying, like, I'm patient, but they're more patient, you know? Like, they're so kind, that's what I mean. So just gently, they say, well, the manager's busy right now, and there's no way she can come up here. Because, I mean, again, that was true. It's not that we're just are denying her a manager, right? So then the register's open, right? And then I hand her a nickel because this is what she's fucking arguing about. I mean, 2 cents, right? But that's the thing. I am giving her 3 more cents than her change was. Now, they might not seem like a lot, but you have to remember this is a cash register. Like, my position is a cashier. Money is very sensitive when it comes to this position. Like, if you tender wrong or you give out too much change or you give out too little change, you can actually get in trouble for that. So to irritate her more, I'll be honest, I handed her the nickel. I gave it to her hand, right? And she just kept on arguing. It's not like she got it, walked away and left the fucking building and went back to her, I don't even know if life is the correct term, but she would have just left, you know? But no, she proceeded to argue about how, like, I couldn't, like, it's crazy how we can't give her change, how I said that, you know, it's a law that I can't give her change. Like, again, she just misinterpreted what I said. I'm not making this up. She said that we were keeping too much money. Like, I understand that it was your change and it is your money, like, it really is, but too much money? What are you talking about? Like, she's acting like I'm keeping her life savings or something, you know? And even then, I just don't think it would be a lot, because the fact that she's arguing over 2 cents makes you feel like you are very, very desperate. And so they tell the lady that, hey, he is on the register and that I cannot be giving out too much change, because what I just explained earlier is that I will be short on the register if I give out more change than normal. However, she just didn't understand that. She didn't fucking understand what was told to her. So she just kept on going. And honestly, I was very sick of this, because this argument was going on for way longer than it really should have. So I just tell her, ma'am, it's 3 cents. You argued over 3 cents. You do know that, right? It's 3 cents. And so she just responds with, oh, I don't care. So I just tell her, well, if you don't care, then just leave. And so then the person next to me, and they just say, hey, you know, just calm down. Because that's the thing, I wasn't yelling or anything, but obviously I was sick of it, you know? And so it was all explaining to her. And eventually she got tired of it too, and just said, hey, ma'am, it's just 3 cents. You argued over 3 cents. Like, it was, everything I just said was said to her again, obviously just more kindly. So then she finally fucking leaves. You know, the balance was restored. You know, you could just hear birds chirping as she was walking away. The lights were getting brighter, honestly. Like, you know, colors had a meaning again. And that's the thing. While she was walking away, the person next to me proceeded to say, "Have a blessed day, ma'am." Like you have to have some level of, I don't even know, like you just have to have some level of patience to say that, you know. So then later, as the day was going on, there was just a thought in the back of my head. It's just like, well, you know, this is a question that doesn't need answering. That's the one thing with these type of customers. They make up the story as they go when they tell it to anybody else that isn't you. They will change that shit. They will say things as like, oh, they kicked my dog. Oh, they insulted my child. Oh, like they disrespected my culture. Anything to just make you look like shit. So I just thought, well, when she was asking for a manager, what did she say before that? So when there's no one, I went up to the person in front of the door, right? So I proceeded to ask him, hey, you know, when that one bitch lady, well, I didn't say that, but when that lady asked for the manager, what did she say exactly? And so the person just tells me that she needed a manager urgently and that she needed a manager now. Like, that's so funny, man. Like, that's I again, this is a real story. I am not making this up. I really wish I could. I really wish I had this level of imagination to make up this fairy tale, right? And then so I explained everything to this person in the front, and eventually I mentioned like, oh yeah, I just ended up giving her a nickel because she just wouldn't leave. And you know what the person in the front proceeds to tell me? Again, this is a real story. Oh yeah, she gave me that nickel. I actually cussed this time. I said, are you fucking serious? And so they proceed to take it out of their pocket and show it to me. The same nickel I handed to her that she was arguing about, making such a fuss about it, making such a tantrum like that. You know, we were making crimes, like we were disrespecting her, you know, because she is so important. Her pennies, you know, she was arguing over this nickel for these 2 cents. And by the way, I gave her 3 more after that, right? And only for her not to keep them. Like, the least you could have fucking do was keep the stupid nickel. These people cannot be real, you know. You know how the whole theory about reptilians living among us. No, there's just people like this who live among us. You know, you can just, I believe in that, you know, people who just don't have a functioning brain, you know. And to top this all off, right, and put a big old cherry on it, this happened at the very start of my shift.